Hello and welcome back to GNG. You are watching our continued series of interviewing Malaysian developers and what they're up to. Today we're interviewing Passion Republic Games and we're talking about GigaBash.
Hi, I'm Jin. I have been programming and making GigaBash for almost 4 years now.
Hello, I'm Hazim. I'm the narrative designer for GigaBash.
GigaBash is a party game where you get to control kaijus, robots, and all that other good tokusatsu stuff as you fight across big cities, throwing buildings at each other, or playing as a building. That's also an option in that game. It's one of my favorite games to play when I want to do Ghidorah combos on people, because this game also has a bunch of guest characters like Godzilla, Ultraman, and Hedorah, who is the best kaiju. Let's talk about the game. It has been 4 years, and you guys are developing a new DLC, Final Ascension, which by the time this video comes up, it should be out already. Most of your DLC has been crossover stuff, but this one, not only are you focusing on your original characters, but you're also going for the story angle. There is a big new story chapter. What makes you decide to go, you know what, it's time for the next story update?
So just like you said, we have been collabing with really cool IPs like Ultraman, Godzilla, like you mentioned, recently Gamera. All this is super cool that we get to work on this super famous IP that everybody likes, including myself, right? So it's been fun. But in the same hand, right, it's been a while since we update our own IP, our own characters. I'm very grateful that we have enough fans for GigaBash characters. They ask for more story. They want to know a little bit more about Thundertross, Gigaman, or the new character Roja. We also don't want the same thing. We also want to create things that the fans is asking for. If for DLC, we want to basically give back to the fans. Yeah, right, a little bit more about GigaBash.
Well, I think it's really interesting that the crown jewel of this DLC is the story update. Since most of GigaBash's roster is original characters, do you feel like this single-player experience is what helps keeps them memorable and becoming someone's possible favorite?
Definitely. In my opinion, I do think story and especially likable characters that you can relate to is very important to how memorable a game is, right? We all like to see ourselves in the screen, in movies, in stories, and of course in GigaBash. For myself, that's how I come to really love GigaBash when I played Yuki's story in the Thundertross chapter of GigaBash. That's how I got to know Yuki's struggle and Yuki's battle and Yuki's friends like Gigaman. So that's also how I got to love Gigaman, right? Because he showed up as a supporting character in Yuki's story. He's this mysterious yet very funny, very interesting parody / inspiration of Ultraman that helps Yuki got through his problems. That's also why Gigaman becomes my favorite character in GigaBash. If it wasn't for Yuki's story, right, I wouldn't relate or like Gigaman that much. That's why we wanted to make a story mode for Gigaman and his rival Rawa, who is the inspiration by Godzilla. We think that it's an important chance to give to these two characters to shine, to let our players understand them for who they are and give them a chance to relate to these characters. Yeah, similar to our character Roja and Balzar.
Yeah, and on that note as well, because you mentioned there's been no Gigaman story up until this point. For Hazim, now that everyone's been waiting for the Gigaman story, what kind of juice you putting in this for guest people like Hyde Flayer's Gigaman?
So for the story of Gigaman, we wanted to put an emphasis on more relatable human emotions, because he's a larger-than-life character for sure. But literally physically large, yes, and also emotionally and presentationally. So we wanted to kind of bring him down to earth a little bit by focusing more on regrets and failures. I think a lot of people, now don't quote me on this, but I think a lot of people regret at least one thing in their lives. Yeah, sometimes more than one. And in the story, in the DLC, Gigaman is in a rut kind of emotionally where he can't quite pull himself out of it. I think having an experience like that is gonna resonate with a lot of people, and I think people will be excited to see how he gets out of that. So I wanted to inject all of that, all of those feelings into the story, and hopefully, a lot of people, maybe right now, they find themselves in a rut and they don't know how to make it out. So maybe Gigaman's story will inspire them.
On a similar note, what would you guys say you have learned the most from working on GigaBash over the years?
Making video games is hard. It's really hard.
Wow, according to Reddit, it's super easy.
I was one of those Redditors once. For me, transitioning from, I used to be a mostly solo worker, and then entering a large team like this, adapting to the whole dynamic, it's a doozy. I don't know, I thought it was pretty simple to write stories for video games. It can't be that hard. I'm just putting words down in the computer. Turns out those words, you have to go to modeling team, they have to model the stuff that you add, and then those that need to go to rigging and animation, and then the engineers have to put it all in, and then marketing is to make sure, the thing that you made isn't accidentally really bad. And offensive, you know. So there's a lot of like, you're not just writing a story per se, you're making sure that this story works with everybody that you're working with as well. So you have to manage their expectations and what's going to come out from your end and what's going to come out from their end, and then there's the whole time and stuff, you know. Yeah, it's hard. It's much harder than I think.
I would echo a lot of what Hazim shared here. Basically, my biggest lesson is, making video games is very hard, and that's saying a lot because I had been on this industry for like 3 years before I started this DLC. I had been in GigaBash for almost 3 years, and then that's where we started developing Final Ascension. Even with 3 years of experience under my belt, right, I still felt like, that was incredibly hard. When Hazim and I is writing for the scenario of the story, it's very easy to imagine, right? It's like, for this scene, I want 50 explosions, and then 2 other hero cuts into the frame, do a very cool super combo that blasts the guy to space, 5 more explosions. It's all amazing in my brain, right? Then I'll tell my designer, or I'll tell my engineer, I'll tell everyone, it's like, guys, I have a very cool idea. We need 50 explosions, each different color, 5 guys randomly appear this place, do a super cool pose, blah blah blah. But then when it comes to executions, then who is gonna make the 5 different explosions or all those crazy stuff, right? How many times it's gonna take? We don't have infinite time. We cannot make a game for 20 years. We cannot make like everything happen. So definitely very difficult. There's a lot of things I have learned after making this DLC. And lesson number 2 that I learned is that it is because that it is so difficult, right? It is very humbling to realize that I need help from everyone in our friends, my teammates. It wasn't for them listening to my crazy ideas and basically grabbing me before I want to fly too far away that, oh yeah, wait, this is how you should do it, and I'll help you accomplish the goal we set out to do. It makes me appreciate my team a lot more because it's that hard. So yeah, it was very fulfilling making something so difficult and see it come to fruition with my friends.
It's a very much a team sport for you guys. And I think a lot of the project's longevity is tied to the fact that you guys are working as a team on it. And it also ties into our next section where I get this suspicion that you guys might like tokusatsu. Something about this.
No, how do you?
So first of all, Final Ascension literally feels like the summer crossover movie. So are there any big homages you guys wanted to highlight?
Sure, yeah, there is. For Final Ascension, it is a big homage to Ultraman, surprise. One thing I can point out that is very easily seeable is our final boss, Zagora. It's a fusion monster between Rawa and Balza. If you have been following not just Ultraman, a lot of tokusatsu content recently, it's the boom right now, fusion monsters. So you can use old monsters and make them into something cooler, stronger even. We explored the same thing and made it also very interesting for our character, Zagora. That is one of the obvious inspirations, and I think it turned out very well. Second one, also very obvious if you watch Ultraman. So the human connection between the main character Sho and his Ultraman power giver god character Gaia is very much inspired by the human host connections a lot of the Ultraman series has covered and delved into. So that one was also one of the huge inspiration. Of course, not just Ultraman, we still have our rival character Rawa, who is inspired by Godzilla. He is the king of the monster in our story also, just like Godzilla is. So in the story, he also roars to command other lesser monsters to do his bidding, just like that.
It's pretty hype when a character uses a different character's weapons. In our original draft, had for the finale scene, Roja pick up Thundercross's sword and use it to deal the final blow against the enemy, Zagora. But, as cool as that is, we were like, we could make it more tokusatsu. We could turn Roja into a weapon. We could have Thundercross wield the Roja mech as a cannon, fire a beam that will connect with Gigaman's beam that will beam into Zagora. Yeah.
Because as you know, Power Rangers likes to combine their weapons into a cannon. Why not just let them do that? Let them combine into a cool cannon.
Alright, so now you're working on GigaBash. The important question, who's your favorite kaiju?
Okay, so 3 of my kids are here. They should not listen to this. Okay, so it's Concrete with a bullet. Concrete is my favorite kaiju because it's such a unique design, like a building that is also the kaiju. It's just really funny. I haven't seen it quite anywhere else before. And you know what, Jin? I noticed when I was playing GigaBash, because I was a fan before I was a dev, there's no concrete story mode. There's no concrete, even the story. As soon as I was in the writing chair, I was like, I knew I had to give Concrete a more concrete role in this story, I'm wearing both hats, developer and fan. I'm putting in what the fans want, what I want.
We're now standing here in a lovely hall surrounded by you guys' DLC. And I think it's the perfect place to ask this question because clearly, the team's overall love of tokusatsu is something that has shown in the game, and it's also carved itself a little niche in the tokusatsu community. And because unfortunately I'm a terminal redditor, even when I'm scrolling through like just the regular like tokusatsu subreddits, I will occasionally see GigaBash get mentioned, and there'll be all these people who say things like, yo, did you guys know, this game's all these kaiju in it and stuff. How do we get them to include my super niche kaiju pick?
I think it's pretty heartwarming. The fact that people all around the world and all around the internet, they think of our funny little game from Malaysia and then hold it in their hearts, and then they want to see their blorbos in the game. It's like it's nice.
Mostly, I do feel surreal. Like Hazim said, I am just coming to work and program. I never see the faces of our players, right? When I jump into Reddit or our Discord, it's very surreal to see, wow, there's actually a lot of people playing. It's very surreal. I don't know how to describe it. It's like there's a lot of people playing, but I never seen their faces, but there are fans out there. I feel very gladful. It also does give me a lot of motivations to keep going, and I want to make the fans happy. For the fans out there that wants your character to be in the game, we are listening and we're trying our best.
So over the years, I would see GigaBash at a lot of Malaysian events. Like you guys are basically a permanent fixture at Level Up KL, where I see people trying to beat up their friends at your booth. It also helped because I think in Malaysia we have a lot of exposure to tokusatsu. Shout out to the NTV7 generation, 9 in the morning. Hell yeah. Ultraman Tiga, Ultraman Gaia. Do you have anything you want to say to your community?
The most important thing I want to say to our fans is that although it's a bit corny and it's a bit, you heard this said more times than not, but it's real. I'm very thankful for the support you're giving us. I'm happy if I'm able to make things that you like, because from your support, you also give me chance to actually make things that I like. And even heroes from my childhood came to life because you guys given us the support and giving me the chance to do it. Thank you very much.
It's one thing to look at numbers or reviews or like ratings or whatever, and it's another thing to actually read the words of the people who like your work, and like they feel so strongly about it. They reach out to you and then they express how much fun they had playing the game and how much they want to put Wooly on the cross, and that kind of passion is what drives us going forward. And the game is fueled by our respective childhood nostalgias. The reality is, for a lot of people out there, GigaBash is going to be their childhood game. So we hope that this will inspire maybe the next generation of GigaBashers to make their own thing, inspired by us, and so on and so forth.
Thank you all for watching. This has been a really fun experience. Like, first of all, because none of these people are into Toku, so I don't get to geek out with them all that much. Secondly, because Final Ascension is available now, and you guys should absolutely get it. One, to see like their amazing work on story, and secondly, because you can run money matches with your friends, especially if they're coming over for the first time and they don't know what to deal with score activities. I think Wooly's first. Keep watching GNG for more content like this. And did you guys have anything else you wanted to say before we wrap up here?
Buy our game, buy our DLC. It's good. Quality assured by me, Jin, your programmer for 4 years and writer for 3 months.
I want to say to the Malaysian community, terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Yeah, buy our game.
Buy now, please. I need it. I need the money, please, now, please. Thank you.